Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Namaste.
It's been,
Welcome, welcome.
yeah, November 23rd. Um, we were, I don't know, the last, would you say 12 hours, 14 hours have been just like crazy here. Um, our link, I apologize for the mix-up on the link. I don't know how today got removed, the link for today's meditation on the website. So we have one today and we have one next Sunday as well. But there's been a lot of, I guess from the solar flares, all the activity, there's been a lot of challenges with technology this week and last week. Just crazy things. So we're having to redo. So maybe it's all because the Mercury is retrograde, which I think it goes direct. I don't know. Hopefully soon. So, um, so anyway, apologize for that for those that aren't with us live and, went on and looked for it. Geez. But those that are, thanks. And then you can just use the same link. You already registered, so next week just use the same link. So it's Thanksgiving week. And the other thing, like, I don't know how your physical bodies are feeling, but both our dogs, like first our first one got sick and now our husky's sick. We were up literally, I didn't I 6 or 7 times I was with her last night outside. She has some kind of gastrointestinal thing. I think she ate something outside. So I don't feel like I slept, like I never got into that deep. So I feel like kind of shaky and out of do you do too? Yeah, and so it's kind of weird. So I don't know if you're having any, and I kind of yesterday physically felt a lot of clearing and um movement. I was like really swollen in my eyes, my nose was running, and I thought it was because I was canning jalapenos the night before. I don't know. But who knows what's going on? So I think it's really powerful energies and just self-care, 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 all in the week of Thanksgiving when we in the United States here, when we get into being with family and dynamics and busyness and holidays and pressures and all those other good things.
Shopping,
Shopping, yeah,
eating.
eating. So, yeah, so just so we feel a little, I don't know, honey, do you feel the same way?
It does definitely feel like there's a kind of like a new operating system coming in underneath. Like there's some readjustment, recalibration happening at the energetic level, and the outer level is kind of like catching up to
Yeah, that
what's
would be
what's
good.
going on in the inner world. And when I feel into the inner world, it's that inner guidance system that we feel as our heart, right? Our heart is tells us go this way, go that way. It usually tells us through expansion and contraction, right? Oh, okay, yeah, it's opening up, right? And you kind of get used to that simple binary reaction to which way to go at first, and then you kind of add little components to it. You get some emotion going, right? And you start to notice how when you do follow that inner guidance and the expansion starts to open up, you start to add a little joy to it. You start to feel, oh yeah, I'm getting somewhere. Something's opening here.
Mm.
Something's doing good. And you start to, stand a little straighter and all of a sudden you're just kind of flowing. All of a sudden now you have a flow instead of just an opening or there's a flow happening here. And then you kind of get used to that a little bit and you start to feel the magnetism of the flow pulling you, it's guiding you, right? And that's that inner guidance system. Oh, yeah, okay, we go this way. And then you start to feel the threads. Oh, there's a thread here. There's a thread. There's an opening in my heart. Let's go there. And these openings start to happen. And you start to like, okay, yeah. And the more you kind of sit in that guidance system, the more it kind of unveils itself, or it starts to, it's like a self-teaching program, you could say, but it's more than that. It's your field coming alive. The
Hmm.
field that you're in is responding, and you're noticing the responding of it. You're noticing how your thoughts or your emotions, and you're noticing how things are out of alignment, and things are not flowing, so you adjust, right? And I think this was one of the things that we were talking about this week was resonance.
Oh yeah, big word.
Resonance is what's the true, the next phase or the next opening in that guidance system. Resonance. Once you get into resonance, when your heart, we are resonant beings. And we don't seem to really notice that too much because we kind of just resonate with what's so. We resonate what's happening to us rather than resonating what we want to happen. So we kind of, and then there's this inner guidance system, which is kind of like, okay, you're kind of starting to discern the difference. And what does it look like when your resonance is not matching your personality's intentions? Your inner resonance is not what you're generating. It is an inner resonance, and what you're receiving in the outer world, because it's going through the filter of the personality, is somehow not in alignment. So there's this like alignment happening between that inner resonance and our intentions. And what are your intentions? Well, sometimes our intentions like, "Oh, we need to make some more money this month.
Christmas is coming.
We need to do this. When that's sometimes the overlay of the personality versus I want to be in alignment with my resonance. I want to be alignment in attune with what is showing up for me. And what's showing up for me is usually in some kind of joy, some kind of expansion, some kind of flow, and following those threads a little bit more. So I'm not sure if I said anything there, honey, but for me, the whole thing about resonance is really like a new guiding system.
Yeah.
Not even new. It's like we had it, but it's like,
And the law of resonance, is the great way to access that. Yogananda, I came up my feet. It was a beautiful um, service from the SRF Fellowship of one of the monks speaking about gratitude. And he was telling stories about Yogananda and key people in the organization and how the smallest gestures of appreciation and thanking somebody or smiling at a clerk or appreciating flowers, just how they can become contagious to the next person, the next person. So I'll post the link because it's really just sweet and a beautiful, uplifting thing if you want to have a service while you're in your Thanksgiving holiday, whatever you celebrate. It's a beautiful thing. And the other thing, it really made me reflect on our time with the Mamos because they're really coming on the radar. And all of a sudden, everybody's talking about them. Different people from different countries, and the group that works with Drumvalo, Melchizedek, he's got his third book coming out, and he was sharing in some video, and it's pretty rare that he does. He's going to be 90, no, 85 in January. Um, his teachings with the Mamos and how incredible lucky we are to have that exchange. I mean, there's people they're charging over $100,000 to go to the High Sierra to meet them, and how fortunate we are to, I mean, there's people out there doing that, to have the opportunity to be with them and do ceremony with them and have healings with them. So, I don't know what's going on and why it's all of a sudden on the radar, but that's again the law of resonance. All of a sudden it comes up randomly on my feed or someone brings it, someone sends me the YouTube video. And so For those
That's
of
it.
you,
That's resonance starts to bring things to you before you even know that you need it or want it.
so Viola Rose, I shared her, and I'll post the links to those videos below. I wrote her an email and told her about us and sent her, the information on the event on December 6th and invited her to, participate and share it with her community. And it was like she had the same response that I did. This is like, how crazy is this, right? And when I knew Drumvlo, it was back over 30 years ago. We were on a boat working in the Bimini
Bermuda Triangle.
in the Bermuda Triangle, realigning some of the things with the grid that had been distorted with the fall of Atlantis, like 30 years ago. So I kind of wrote that to her. And then we had a hurricane come out of the blue. And, imagine that, this is before we knew they were doing weather modification, so we were on this boat in a hurricane and we all got put into a shelter for a couple days. And, there was two hotel rooms between us. And when the eye of the hurricane, it took a 90-degree turn, came over us Drumvalo, and there was only like, maybe 26 people on the boat, had us all go outside. And in the eye of the hurricane, it's incredibly quiet. It's brilliant, brilliant golden light, and it's filled with birds because the birds fly to the center where it's calm. And that's how a lot of migratory birds get placed in different. So we had us run outside. We're jumping over the sandbags, doing all this. And he knew we had just enough time. And he got us in a circle and we did a meditation, did a big Merkaba in the eye of the hurricane, and he was like so happy. I have no idea what we did, but it was like pretty cool, right? I've never been in the eye of a hurricane till that time. But how serendipitous, right? That this is coming up. So, you know, I just feel that law of resonance and being in that frequency and trusting the divine. We had another issue here. We had snap, crackle, pop happen in here. We have a lot of old trees, and a lot of trees died from a borer, the ash borer, and we kind of like let them have their retirement here. So we don't cut them down. We kind of let them complete their life. And one fell, and it was like hanging between these other trees, right? Michael's like, I'm gonna do the thinking. And the guy, a friend of ours, Tim, who's our handyman, he goes, "This is a widow maker, like he needs to call somebody." He's texting me because I'm sending him pictures like, "You're not gonna believe this one." And our dear friend, I hope you don't mind if you say your name, Shivdun, comes to help Michael, right? So they're out there, and I'm in the house just praying, that nobody loses a limb, nobody dies. Somehow this gets taken care of. It's over the driveway. Just it was, definitely a safety hazard. And all of a sudden, I'm in here cooking, and a- our neighbor shows up with all this equipment and backhoe and chains, and I'm like, what's going on? And here, I didn't know. They told me when we were having lunch, the saw got stuck in the tree, and they couldn't get the chainsaw out. So he called our neighbor to help him get the chainsaw out. The guy was like, I don't know exactly what he
He
said
was
to
just
you.
he had just driven by and saw us and was wondering if we had fallen. The tree had collapsed on top of
Yeah,
us.
so he thought
So
it
I
was,
need
like an emergency. So here he happens to be home that day. It's the middle of the day on a Monday. Driving by, sees what's going on, has all this equipment handy, spends the whole day with these guys. And so then we have like tons of like huge trees, big, laying all over our yard. And he says, we like, does he want to cut them up or what are we going to do with them? And he doesn't want money. And he said, I'd love the wood. So we offered him all the wood and he came and took all the wood away that we didn't even have to cut and chop and do all the thing because that's how he heats his home. That's like kind of how the new earth works. This divine dance that at the time you think, oh man, we got the saw, it probably saved one of those guys' lives, right? Or somebody's hand or something. Who knows? but
We
it's
were safe.
they
No
were
safe, no,
safe.
no, no saving
There was a
anything.
big macho
We
man,
were
and I was very proud. I'm happy to make them a nice hot lunch. So anyway,
she then we could have done that all for it just wouldn't have taken us long. It was this guy
it
just
would
had a freaking
take
backhoe and a couple chains.
right, and it would have taken weeks. So I say that to be in the place of gratitude, the resonance, weaving all of that together and not to be distracted with all this nonsense. There's so much nonsense. I've just kind of surrendered now to listening to music, nice music, because I can't, it's just too much, even on YouTube, to find anything that's, fulfilling or rich in my heart. The last thing I will note before we go into our beautiful meditation. Hopefully you can join us on the 6th. Please sign up. If you can't join us live, um, we'll send the recording just to the people that register. It won't be posted later, because of the privacy of the people. And we're going to talk with Mama Rodrigo tonight about everything, like the
What is
total of
December 6th?
2 Saturdays.
It's our webinar with the Mamos and
Oh yeah,
Zagos of the
yeah,
High Sierra Nevada. The indigenous people are going to come and give their teachings.
yeah,
And so we're having a Mama Rodrigo is he's done a program here in the United States about what their teachings are and how to talk to Mother Nature and what does Mother Nature want as a payment or an offering? How can we balance them? And he's got so excited about this. He's like, I'm going to bring some elders. We thought he was an elder because he's a Mamos, right? But I'm going to bring elders. I'm like, oh, what is that? Guys that live up in the mountains that don't come out. We're like, oh, oh, oh. I hope he can find them. So
yeah. We'll get an update
we don't know
tonight.
what's going to
Yeah,
show, who he's going to bring in and what it's going to look like. But we know that you will enjoy it and you will get the activations
yeah,
through the law
totally.
of resonance, whether you're in Vermont or New York
Oh,
or
God.
you know
Wherever you
wherever you
are.
are, the resonance will find you
Yeah.
because you're human.
The other thing is he did ask, and I'll send an email to participants that you wear white. Um, and it would even be good if you're listening to the replay, just out of purity and intention. And to kind of, if you can't listen to the whole thing or join us for the whole day for the part that you are on, and then you can listen to the afternoon. The afternoon's going to be more interactive, which is a great way you get to ask them a question. Um, and then there's shells that he wants us to have for offering. And I took some pictures and sent them out, so I'll get that out to the registrants this week. So yeah, thanks for the patience. It's just been tech. I've had a lot of technical stuff this week. So it's just been like everything I have to seem to redo Groundhog Day over and over again. So, which is a good movie. The other thing I'll say too, I'm just going back to this resonance real quick, and I'm looking at time. We watched the movie with Brad Pitt at Formula One F1 last night, the race car driver, which is, who doesn't like Brad Pitt and, driving and testosterone, all this like good manly stuff. But what's really amazing
I
is,
like that stuff.
yeah, sometimes I like it. Some of these other movies, I'm like, um, there's Brad Pitt, the only reason he did the driving, his character in the movie, is because he loved to drive later in his career. There's a young driver that's kind of this macho, wants to prove himself, be it and everything. And there's scene in the movie where Brad kind of takes over the team and the synergy and the resonance, they start winning because it's the purity of his heart of not wanting to be somebody, not having an agenda other than the love of driving. It's his gets in the zone and the flow, and he's explaining this where the other guy wanted it because he like was on his Instagram and social media and wanted to be somebody and the clothes and the thing. So we're moving into the other model where you do what you love and allow the resonance to come to you and watch the flow happen in your life. So, you know, yeah, even though,
Yeah, I've heard that many times. The athletes talk about the zone, right? Where's that
yeah,
zone They're always trying to get back into the zone where they can't miss their shot, or they're flying through the air, or they see everything slows down and they're in the oneness. And
Yeah.
that's what we are calling the inner guidance system. It starts to turn into the oneness consciousness. We call it unified consciousness, but see, oneness consciousness is even more than unified consciousness. It's unified consciousness is part of the oneness, and the oneness is when you start to feel that and you start to sense it and it starts to take over your life. It doesn't take it over in a place that's your purpose becomes oneness. And the other things in your life just get healed, or they just manifest. And it's like you're not even trying to manifest them because you just want to be in the oneness. You want to be in that place of the zone.
Which
And
is God, which is you,
which
which
is
is,
God,
and
right?
there's many paths to God. Driving a race car, you know, doesn't necessarily mean you have to be sitting on your meditation cushion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just one thing about the oneness. It's just something I just feel like I should say, but it's like when you start to feel the oneness and you see through the oneness and you see the oneness is the real eternal life operating system. We call it operating system, but it's beyond love. It's beyond it's who we are. Then you see the mirage of what we believe to be true, mortality and death, and what all these things are not natural belief systems. They're not supposed to happen. And it just frustrates me that people accept it. And it's like, oh, it's an inevitability. It's not an inevitability. It's not. And I wish that would be something that I'd like to really heal in the collective is that to people to connect to that knowingness of the eternal life that's there, that's always present. Okay, I
Hmm.
wanted to get that out. All right, let's go.
Okay. Now I picked a pretty picture just to breathe in the fall, beautiful yellow light coming in right now.
Yeah. So let's close our eyes and just check your posture, check your spine, and then take a deep breath. And notice when you breathe, where are you pulling the energy from into the heart field? Are you pulling it into the lungs? And then hold it wherever you're pulling it to, and then exhale. Like for me, when I'm pulling energy now, I'm pulling it from the sacral, I'm pulling it from the womb of creation. Breathing in, feel how it expands or is received by the heart field. And then we just generate by holding. We're in that place in between intention and expression, and then exhale. Right now, we're kind of attuning to each other as well as charging our heart fields. Breathing in and hold. Now we're looking inwards. Now we're feeling inwards and we're attuning to whatever sensation you're now picking up in your heart. Exhaling, going a little deeper. Breathing in. Notice the breath is slowing. The inner pace, you may be able to pick up a rhythm now, like a pulse. Attune to the pulse and exhale with the pulse. Now you're allowing the heart field and the pulse to generate your inhale. Breathing in and hold, and you'll start to notice as the heart field is expanding, it begins to thread a little. It almost like you can feel the prana, the life force, the breath energy moving through the heart field. And exhale. You may even start to notice there's some elongation between the exhale and the inhale. Now you're just focused now only on your heart field. And you're noticing your rhythm. Is there a pulse? It should be stronger than your heartbeat, which you can notice as well if you tune into that frequency. Good. Now you're starting to pull energy in from the back of your heart into the inner chambers of your heart. You may feel like an opening at the back of your heart. You may even feel like you've already opened what I call openings or threads, energy that's moving up from your antakarana, from your root into your heart. You may feel the energy opening from the front, coming down from your throat. And we're just noticing the fullness of your heart field. And there starts to be like beginning to be like a little tingling happening at the inner chambers of your heart. Or a swirling. Some may feel it as a clearing, or feel it as a density of the heart that's becoming softer, more flowing or fluid or plasmic. And even beyond, beneath that is like a purity or a clarity. And the emotion there may be like an inner joy or a bliss. And that is the resonant frequency that we wish to play with, breathe with, surf with, breathe into and drink of. More like a feeling of wellness, or wholeness, or fullness, with like a slipstream beneath it that is that high frequency of joy. As you tune and begin to resonate with that, you may feel kind of crystalline or crisp, or just like a very pure air. Like you're breathing very pure air, or drinking an amrit. So drink, be fed, and begin to notice as you release and surrender, merge, become. What opens up within you? You may feel some activations in your chakras. Maybe your third eye is coming online. Maybe your crown is beginning to pulsate, or your spine, the lower spine, is becoming more energized. You can feel like the energy in your tailbone or the rattle in your coccyx. These are all resonant fields that are coming online because of your heart field, the joy. The joy opens, creates these slipstreams, these conduits, they feel like. See if you can find one, whether it's opening in your heart. You may feel like you have different chambers in your heart, and you can feel a swirling, a clearing, the purity of that joy coming in, and the mist or the density kind of dissolving. And then the charging has kind of like an inner gravity, is almost as if you're being pulled into or towards that conduit, that opening of consciousness within the oneness field. And then you begin to breathe with that opening. It may not be fully formed yet or fully solid. It may just be a mist right now. But your focus, intention, brings the resonant field around you to continue to expand this slipstream or conduit. And sometimes we just feel into it, and it's just enough to lock onto it and to pulse with it and to breathe with it and to drink with it and to dance. It responds to joy. It expands or opens in the joy. And that slipstream is a conduit for potentialities, higher potentialities of what life could be for you. Breathe that in. Feel that that's true for you. And when you feel that it is true for you, you'll see that it galvanizes. And a little more joy comes in, and you're right on it. Your higher potentialities being revealed to you. Continue to stay in that breathing and immersing yourself. And as you immerse yourself, you start to notice that you're surrounded. It's more than just presence, it's a field that's holding you. It cares for you. See if you can notice that field of oneness. And begin to thread it through your heart. And watch as you breathe it in. Pull that thread of your intention of oneness into your heart, into the opening, into the slipstream, how it catches, and continue to breathe it through, allowing it to catch into every aspect, every crystalline consciousness within your heart field. Enjoy drinking this elixir, this amrit of your own heart. And as you exhale, just exhale it where you wish it to go, or where it wishes to go, where it wishes to show you, where your attention needs to be. And bring the oneness amrit there. And breathe through that. Density or conduit or slipstream. Begin to explore it. Unlock new potentialities for joy. And feel the inner draw of the inner joy, drawing more joy. See if you can notice the joy coming from within, through the source nodes within their chakras, through the conduits, but also notice the joy that's coming in from the field around you, the consciousness field that you're emanating, the oneness field that's holding you right now. And have the intention now with each breath to pull them together. Pull the oneness field around you, in and through your auric fields, into your heart. And to pull those joyous openings within the conduits and the chakras and the 0 point fields within you, out through source, and merging the two. And what would that be like for you? How is joy served? As that's continuing to merge, bring your awareness to your third eye. Notice how your frontal lobe is opened, plasmic almost. You may feel some streams of energy coming down into your brain. You may feel your third eye opened and expanded. And just see that how they're both, how that's connected. The inner third eye resonance field is connected with the inner heart resonant field. It's as if they're one and the same, yet in two different locations. You could say that they're talking to each other on an outer view, or that they're simultaneously one on the inner awareness. And as you breathe, it's almost like you're breathing from into your heart, pulling energy into your heart field. You're also pulling into your third eye field. There's a coordination, a coherence, and a developing resonance pattern. And it's that resonance pattern which is beginning to expand from your antakarana outward like a bar magnet or a torus field, what we call your rainbow light body. But this rainbow light body has held within the oneness field. Supported by the oneness field, informed. Breathe it in. May get the impression that this resonant field is being installed into your rainbow light body, but it's also being installed around you as if it's in your awareness field. This is a resonance field that you've had, an operating system you've known. You're all experts at using tone and vibration. But we just had to turn it off because of this density. And now we're gently turning it back on. You've known it as glimpses in your life when you know the feeling of others. You sense that. You know how things are going to turn out before they present themselves. You sense the flow, the opening, and are able to guide it and play with it and excite it. That we call maybe being a wizard. Just breathe it in. Allow these potentialities, slipstreams of what life can be for you to be magnetized in your joy and held and informed by the oneness field around you. And from your heart field, the intelligence of your heart field, see if you can feel into the oneness where life is eternally present. Breathe it into your resonant field. Maybe it's just a mantra for you right now, a concept, but life is eternally present. Breathe it in and notice how your light body receives and what is activated. Where is life eternally present for you right now? Breathe it in. Take it as deep as you can on the inhale. Allow it to anchor and set. You feel it set, then exhale it out, that resonance through all auric fields, all through dimensions, all embodiments, and all fields of consciousness. Breathe with the oneness of the wholeness of all of your identities. Life is eternally present. Feel the fullness and circle of your whole consciousness uniting in an invocation, guided by oneness. Breathe it in one last time into your heart field. And when you feel your complete, exhale it down into the core of Mother Earth, planting your seed so that she can feel life is eternally present. Bring it back up, connect it into your heart and into your resonant field. Breathe it out one last time. Bringing your hands in namaste.
Mm,
Gratitude to the oneness.
mm. Gratitude to each other. Mm. Have a beautiful week, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. So grateful to all of you. Such amazing blessings. And we'll be back next Sunday.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Much
Happy
love and
Thanksgiving. Good
gratitude.
to see
Happy
everybody.